Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Hey, Shalom. This is the brother Yachanan from the GMS Houston camp, and this is just going to be a quick lesson, going into, what's going on, prophecy. Things that were written in the scriptures are now coming to pass. And I had something pop up on my feed. The Farmer's Almanac. This is a tool that farmers across the land Babylon the Great use. For their crops year by year. Every year they come out with a new one, and they have two versions or two different types, or how should I say? They have two farmers' almanacs. So there's one called just the Farmer's Almanac, and then they have the Old Farmer's Almanac, which a part of this land being Babylon, the land of confusion. You have things like this. You have things that have similar names. It's confusing because one, like I'm going through this. I'm not even going to go into any articles. It's just looking at the headlines, but the Farmer's Almanac reached the end of the road after more than 200 years. So the Farmer's Almanac hangs its hat after 208 years. But why? I'm not going to go really into it. But this is going into the Old Farmer's Almanac, but that's still going to be running. The Farmer's Almanac, which, see, it's confusing, because they're both, I typed in Farmer's Almanac and, the old one popped up, even though but anyway. A lesser-known Farmer's Almanac will fold after 2 centuries, citing money troubles. So money troubles are going all around. The farmers can't do nothing, but this is going. Come on, man! I'm pressing the thing. That's annoying. Let me see. I have to just refresh the page. The Old Farmer's Almanac is a long-running annual publication that provides weather forecasts, gardening tips, recipes, and articles on a variety of topics. It's not a single book series, but a brand that includes an annual almanac, a line of themed calendars, and other books like gardening guides and a version for kids. The brand also has a strong online presence and social media following. So this is speaking of the Old Farmer's Almanac, but there's two. So let's go to this other one here, because this is the one that it's speaking of. It says I put in here the Farmer's Almanac versus the Old Farmer's Almanac. It says the main difference is that the Old Farmer's Almanac 1792, and they're both created around the same time. I think there's only maybe about 20 years apart, roughly, maybe a little more. But it says the Old Farmer's Almanac 1792 uses a proprietary formula including satellite data for weather predictions, while the Farmer's Almanac uses a formula based on mathematical and astronomical calculations, sunspots, tides, etc., but does not use modern satellite data. So this is the one that's shutting down, the Farmer's Almanac, and it says they use mathematical and astronomical calculations. So they're looking at the stars, they're matching up the tides, they're doing all this stuff. They're basically stargazers, prognosticators, or things like that. The Old Farmer's Almanac forecasts for 18 U.S. regions and 7 Canadian, while the Farmer's Almanac forecasts for 7 U.S. climate zones and 5 Canadian. So, just going into it, the Farmer's Almanac, I'm not even going to worry about the Old Farmer's Almanac. I'm looking at the Farmer's Almanac. The one that says 1818 here. It says uses a secret formula based on sunspots, tides, and planetary positions. Uses astronomy, content is astronomy, healthy living, and earth-friendly advice. So they're using a star charts, using all this stuff. Basically things that, they use in the ancient world, How the ancient, prognosticators and stargazers would use stuff to get their, you know, or use divination. So this is, basically, hey, it's failing because this was out here to help farmers, but you see, based on the news, the farmers, their crops are failing. They're the bailout money that they were helping to receive went to another country, and that other country's goods. Speaking of Argentina, that other country's goods were now sold to American markets and foreign markets, and nobody's buying the American goods. So it's beautiful. So this is a sign of the Most High's judgment. So, and the Most High visiting Egypt. So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 12. Egypt shall mourn, and this is a spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick, because this is a Revelation 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies, speaking of the Israelites in the spiritually dead state, shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. So this is that place. This is that wicked place where the dead bodies of the Israelites who are spiritually dead, without understanding of who they are, where they came from, that they're the Most Highest people. You Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, your bodies are strewn about this great city, which is known as Sodom and Egypt. Sodom, known for their wicked acts. Sodom known for their great pride, their wicked acts, and how it was, wiped off the face of the earth. And Egypt, known for the house of bondage, where we've got our start, where we spent our captivity, the land that we came out of. Synonymous with slavery, with bondage. So is this place for you so-called blacks, you Native Americans, Latinos. This is what this place is known for: bondage. Not just slavery, heavy debts, the terrible ways they treat you, how you've been oppressed here is synonymous with oppression. So this is what it's speaking of in 2nd Ezra's, the 15th chapter, Egypt. It's not speaking of, the ancient Egypt, but the modern spiritual Egypt. You also see, on the back of your dollar bills, pyramids. You see obelisks everywhere. Egyptian, architecture. You see things going all the way back to ancient Egypt in these days, which you see a lot of things. You see things going back to ancient Rome. But the point being, the Lord is visiting Egypt. It says, back to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. So again, Egypt shall mourn. They're mourning. You have people crying about the snap. You see people lining up at the airports because the government shut down. They don't have any workers to process, them to go through. It's feeling all around. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground, the farmers, shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. So the farmers, all their crops are failing, and the little that they do get, they can't sell it because ain't nobody buying it. They're not getting bailed out. They're worried they're gonna fail. Matter of fact, I had that, just pulled up, just the AI. No, not that one. The AI just overview. It says U.S. farmers in turmoil. It says and the AI overview says U.S. farmers are in turmoil due to high input costs. So it costs a lot of money. A lot of times, them farmers, they have to get loans from the government to, do their crops, to buy their seeds, to do what they're doing. Then low commodity prices. So the trade-off, you got to put a lot of money into it, and then when you finally get your product ready for harvest, the prices of it for low, so you're not making any kind of return. And a trade war that has disrupted markets. So a trade war, the president put in tariffs on all these different countries, raising the prices. Countries don't want to deal with, Babylon, leading to a significant increase in bankruptcies and a financial crisis for many farms. The combination of expenses like fertilizer, seeds, and financing rising while farm income shrinks is putting immense financial pressure on farmers, particularly impacting young and experienced farmers alike. So everybody's suffering. Those that till the ground are gonna mourn because they put in a bad position. You're not making no money. You can't sell nothing. Hey, good for you. Key factors contributing to the turmoil: rising costs, prices for essential inputs like fertilizer, seeds, and machinery have increased, while financing costs are elevated due to higher interest rates. Low commodity prices: farmers are receiving lower prices for their crops and livestock, and some major crops like corn, soy, and wheat have particularly low market prices. The trade war with China has led to a sharp drop in Chinese orders for American crops, reducing market access and creating financial losses for farmers. So, hey, them farmers, they're getting their whatever they want. It says American Soybean Association estimates the first trade war cost farmers billions annually, and the current one is likely to cause long-term damage. So, due to this trade war, China is getting their crops somewhere else. They're still getting soybeans. They're still getting all the stuff they need, but they're going somewhere else. Financial strain. Farm bankruptcies were up 56% in June 2025. Dang, that's over half of the farms filing for bankruptcy, closing down. In June 2025, and that's this year. It's barely November? Let me see. That's only that's a 6 month. Dang, it's only been 5 months. How much worse is it now? Compared to the previous year, and many farmers are losing money on every crop they grow, even with good yields. So even if they get a good yield, oh, this is a good crop, you're still losing money. You're still losing. Labor and other issues, factors like labor shortages due to immigration policies, cuts to rural health care and farm support programs, and destruction of export programs like U.S. aid have further compounded the crisis. So that's that ICE, all you people that that trying to get these immigrants out, thinking that's going to help. Hey, this really damaged the farmers, and good for them too. Good for you. Dependence on government aid. The current situation has forced many farmers to become more dependent on government bailouts. Oh, you what do they call them? They're looking for handouts. You over here worried about Jake trying to get some SNAP benefits, but these farmers need bailouts. They need food stamps. The current situation has forced many farmers to become more dependent on government bailouts, which may only be a temporary fix, and could allow high input costs to persist. That's beautiful. So, take balm for her. If so, she may be healed. And that's good. It's good that you're being mocked by the prophets. It says impact on farmers. Financial instability. Many farmers face difficulties making loan payments and are experiencing multi-year losses, putting them on the brink of financial collapse. The mental health. The financial and operational stress is taking a severe toll on farmers who already have higher rates than the general population. Leaders fear the current crisis could worsen these statistics. So, hey. And the Farmer's Almanac is closing down too. They're the one that uses the stargazers and all that kind of stuff. Because what it brought to mind was this. Let's see here. Uh, I'll start at verse. Man, this is a good chapter. I'll start at verse 5, but I'm just gonna read on down. It says Isaiah 47 and verse 5: Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans. And the Chaldeans, those were in ancient Babylon, the wise men, the stargazers, the prognosticators, those that were able to divinate. They like how you see today the modern day analysts, like this farmer's almanac, those that are like looking, studying data, looking into the future, telling you what route to take. They're telling these people what route to take, telling the elites what route to take. Now they're becoming dumb. They're becoming idiots. It says, "For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms," and that's what this place was: Mystery Babylon, the great whore. This was the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth with my people, the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Most High was wroth with us. We pissed the Lord off by committing spiritual fornication, by going to these other nations, worshiping their gods. I have polluted mine inheritance, and we've been scattered into all the other lands, lost our language, lost our heritage, lost everything, lost the name of the Heavenly Father and His Son, and given them into thine hand, you Edomites. You're the ones that are ruling right now. So the Most High gave us into your hands. Deuteronomy 28:68. We go into another land on ships. How it says we be going into slavery. We go serve their gods. They would show us no mercy. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient, thou hast very heavily laid thy yoke. So even this man is in the curses. It said he would have no mercy on the old. He would show no favor to the old nor the young. So you see the elderly here have to work into their 80s. Really have to work until they die. They have no support, nothing. And that's really showing in these days. You gave away the carrot in their face with the 401k, with the Social Security. Meanwhile, you don't give him any kind of support, really. Verse 7, and thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever. We're going to build back better. Ain't nothing bad going to happen to us. So that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it, because you were going to be destroyed. That's it. You're going to be destroyed. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Therefore, hear now this, that thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So that's how the attitude you got. You see the attitude of these Edomites. We built civilization. We did this, that, the other. We live in brick houses. You lived in mud huts. Without us, you would have been just a monkey in the forest playing with mud. According to IQ statistics. But meanwhile, I'm just keep going. You just go on and on about this nigga. Verse 9, but these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. So you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your children. And World War III is building up. You're going to take heavy losses. You're going to lose everything. You're going to be burnt up. This land is going to be burnt up coast to coast where it's not going to be recognizable. And it's never going to be built up again. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So everything that you see here is enchantments and sorceries. Whether you go get some food somewhere, that's all sorceries. Whatever you see, some ads everywhere, enchantments, the music, enchantments, Everything is designed here to put you under a spell, to make you drunk, to take advantage of you. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. You said you're God. You think you're the Most High, like it says in 2 Thessalonians. That's why even Job 9:24, he covered up the faces of the judges. He thinks everything looks like him, and he don't even believe in it. This man painted the Most High and his son to look like him, and he don't even believe in him. He don't even believe that image himself. Verse 11. Right, verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And you see this happening. The farmers offing themselves. The farmers crops failing. The farmers in a bad situation. Guess what? The farmers are the food supply for you stupid idiots. You 2/3, you heathen Edomites, all you people in the land. The farmers are your food source. That gets cut off, guess what? What? Like these farmers that are going looking for handouts from the government, the same thing is going to happen with you people. You're going to be looking for handouts from the government. And guess what they got for you? They got a nice little grain of rice. Just hold your hand out. Verse 12, stand now with thine enchantments, with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. And you see it ain't working. They shutting down the almanac. They shutting down that what they say, that the almanac. Verse 13, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, that's what they were doing, they were using the stars, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. They can't even do it. They said, look, we ran out of money. This is the last issue. We're out. But that's pretty much it for this lesson. Lord willing, this has been edifying. It's over for this place, Babylon. And the hopeful elect, we are glad. We're glad this is almost over. What do we have to look forward to here? We're looking for something better. The kingdom of heaven is gonna blow this out the water, literally. But all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. Shalom. Kwam Yasser Allah.